I think that's crazy how we all, what we see is attractive.
I know, isn't it?
And it does, and it does differ. Like a woman can see a man.
No, I know.
And he'd be totally attracted in her eyes, and it's mainly women too that do that. Men are different.
I think that's fair. I think that I want to get to a freeing spot if I find my divine counterpart. Because I know the last parts, I'm way past the dum-dum stuff, and, I don't like the word forgive, but I have found a softer place that I can speak about it, but I would
do that for yourself.
Right. Not, fuck yeah, it ain't for him.
You gotta do that for yourself.
Right. But to get to a point as a former chubby chick, and then having the life, all right, I was almost a supermodel, all right, and then fat again, and there's so many ups and downs. Will I be able to head on out of this life not identifying as a body type, or can I personally get to a place? And I think I'm rocking it. Did you see my lipstick video where I'm letting my wrinkles and everything all hang out? And I don't use filters, but I know how to manipulate lighting, so let's be fair. But yeah, it makes me wonder, I wonder if people would like me differently if they couldn't see what I look like.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, because look, we're a vain society. You know what I mean? And it's all about looks. But I mean, that just goes with again, though, Jen. That goes with, if you feel better about wearing makeup, wear it. You know what I mean? You make yourself happy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, my happy would be probably on 80 acres and a baseball cap and not ever having to worry about this fucking shit ever again for a while. But then I think, I love that, Jen, and I'm probably more comfortable as her, wanting to be, not seen. I'm really heading, I think, towards that eventually. But
you're going to be doing podcasts. You're going to be
you can hear. Oh yeah, you'll hear me. But there's also always going to be a part of Jen that wants to go out and be seen and walk into a room and be like, yeah, that's right, bitches. I own this room even at 55. Sit down.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Because I'm still pretty good at that one, too. I'm not well-liked, obviously, sometimes. And again, you'd obviously know I don't care. But can I feel it? That's the part at this age, man, that's been tough having to be gifted with, or perception that people are because you've been teased or bullied. I haven't quite, grasped all the way what that might be, but you energetically kind of know when somebody doesn't like you, or...
Yeah.
They may possibly be jealous of a quality that you have. And it always floors me and that you can be chubby and have the most drop-dead gorgeous woman be jealous of you because you have the courage to go and do a red lipstick video with no, your wrinkles showing, which blows my mind. Oh, wow, you guys exist too? Damn.
Yeah.
But for men, you guys kind of, I don't think you deal with that like we do. I mean, maybe the men of the generation coming up now, because let's face it, some of them want to be women. So there's a lot of makeup things happening. Well, they can be, what is it, poly? Where, I don't know what it is. They're not, they want to paint their nails and put makeup on, which that's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool,
Whatever.
Yeah, so they're covering up their blemishes and their beard's got to be just so, and, and Lord help me. I had, when Jacob told me what a simp was, I was like, Lord help me. And then I met one. I was like, wow.
Well, you need to give the definition of a simp.
Well, I'm not actually real sure, what the official, I should look it up. Let's look it up right now. I'm going to look it up.
There you go.
Well, then I'll give you my definition. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to Google it. Because simp definition. So, a simp is an internet slang term describing someone who shows excessive sympathy and attention towards another person, typically to someone who does not reciprocate the same feelings in pursuit of affection or sexual relationship. So, in the realm of wedding planner, when you meet a weak, I'm just not a fan of a weak gentleman that allows a woman to boss him around in my presence.
Yeah.
Well, wow, and it made me feel really gross on the inside. But the part that made me feel the grossest is that he likes it that way.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of guys like that.
No, I know it's a thing now.
My brother's that way. He's always been that way. He's never been with except one woman, and she treats him like just exactly what you just said. She has the balls. She puts out the pants. She tells him what pants to put on. You know what I mean? All that. And
which I think is great. Hey, if that works for you, that is freaking awesome. But in the balance of things, John, because we talk about energy here, do you think that that's fucking up the energy here a bit?
Out of balance. Very out of balance. But I mean, this whole fucking world's out of balance. That's what's wrong with it.
Yeah, but that's where it starts, I think. You know how I feel about that, because I feel like you can't get out of this realm without having a successful relationship under your belt.
Yeah.
Which really sucks, because they really set us up for that one.
They did. Well, I mean, everything that keeps you coming back into this realm, in my opinion, is attachments. You've got to be able to detach from all things.
Yeah, everything. It's tough.
It is.
Not gonna lie. I even was having issues with myself. I had a little creeper moment. Maybe you can identify with this.
You got to be able to detach from self.
Oh yeah.
From your ego.
Yeah.
And your ego is just as much part of you as your spirit. You can't live here without your ego. That's why everybody's always damning Satan. I'm like, Satan is the ego. It's you. You can't make it here without your ego. You need to quit, just, you know how I am with that. I get tired of that.
There's so many things, though, I think that we get off on a tangent, all of us, not just, but yeah, the ego thing, the label thing is like everything's done to death. I can't even stand, and this part even kind of makes me mad because if you too, because you're, and I don't even like the S word, survivor. I can't stand that effing word.
I agree.
And then, but if you've been in the experience or the frequency of a narcissistic relationship, and I don't know how, and I'm working because I'm really hardcore thinking about how to describe that pull. And I don't like the label empath either. That those frequencies, again, of how they're so pulled to one another, which is so odd and so strong, because even though you can be detached and in no contact and be like us right now, that you can see it coming a mile away and still be like, why in the fuck is this still in my line of sight? Why is this still in my frequency signatures? Why? So what kills the beast? What total? Detachment. It still shows up in your reality.
You are the beast. That's just it.
Yeah.
You can't kill the beast unless you kill yourself, and so when people go and do ayahuasca and stuff like that, they'll do the mother medicine and grandfather medicine. And, and it's like an ego death, that's what people experience. I mean, I've experienced it, but I realized real quick that I don't want to kill my ego. I just want to be aware.
Do you think ayahuasca kills your ego?
Ayahuasca, what the mother medicine does basically is it shows you the ugliness of you. And it shows, everybody's like, whenever they do ayahuasca, they talk about seeing demons, reptilian people, and all kinds of shit, on people. And what they don't realize is they're seeing themselves.
That's a good point. Do you think I should skip that portion of my trip?
But, honey,
do you
if
think
it was up to me, it'd be mandatory that everybody get ayahuasca. If I was president of the world, everyone would do ayahuasca. Everybody.
Interesting.
Because, I mean, Mother taught me so much about myself, and I realized real quick, and not bragging, but I know how to do shadow work. I'm damn great at it. And shadow work's just simply when you admit that you got some darkness inside of you that you need to deal with. You know what I mean? And not necessarily, just first of all, you got to admit that. And, and religion don't allow you to do that. Religion allows you to throw it off on some other kind of entity like a demon or whatever. But the truth is, the demon is you. You have to be aware of that. And you know what I mean? And you just have to admit it to yourself that you got some dark shit that you need to deal with. And it makes you a better person because then you go in there, you sit with your darkness, you sit with all this, the hatred, the depression.
I do all that shit without the fun ayahuasca.
And you can, but what I'm saying is, Mother called me. The Mother Ayahuasca. She called me. I knew that that's what I needed to do, and I can't explain that except somebody that knows what I'm talking about, like a calling.
No, I know. I'm starting to feel like I'm being called, but I'm not sure.
Oh, honey, you definitely. If you get the opportunity and you feel like Mother's calling you, go answer the call.
Well, it's more for. I thought, I don't even know why it even came into my sphere, and this was a while ago. But then I had put it on the back burner, like, yeah, whatever, I can do it in Florida. I really kind of want to go to Peru and do it because that's where it originated. However, I would love to be able to take Isabel as my trip setter. So her
It'd be amazing if you could do a ceremony with her. That'd be great.
And to be able to, that generation, to be able to, all of that, and have her document it for podcast purposes and all the fun things. But going into the field of medicine that she, like you had just said, you think if you were president, you would make everybody do ayahuasca.
Oh, well, absolutely.
She'll be in the medical field of fungi, which will all be that. It'll be psychedelics, is the next up and coming.
You know how I am about plant medicine.
Right, exactly. But I think that would be a great experience for Isabel to go with me.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Sacred medicines, if people could see, but it's demonized. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah, there's some pros and cons. I've been researching it, like, hardcore, like, since I got my passport, like hardcore.
Well, you should research about Jesus and the mushroom. You know what I mean? Basically, it makes sense.
Well, you don't want to be fucked up either. You got to go on a special diet. There's lots. You got to prepare to even do the mother.
Yes, you do.
It isn't like you can just go and fucking do it like all these resorts say you can. I don't want that experience. If I'm going to do it, I want the full gauge of it, but I want to be able to create content.
Yeah. And
then be like, John, you were right. As soon as you're president, you have to tell everybody that they have to do this.
Oh, I would. It'd be, look, every man, woman, and child would do ayahuasca.
And it's funny because my drug of choice, even, experimenting as a kid, well, I knew them, like, the fun ones, like, yeah, those uppers weren't for me, but the minute I tried blotter, hello, that was like, wow, I want to be here and I want to laugh all the time. I just want to have fun here. That was a good experience.
And yeah, that's amazing. And but what it would do, it would change this world. The world would totally change overnight. Fear would be gone. And you can't run this world without fear.
No, I know. There would be a lot of people in danger.
Well, there'd be a lot of people that will finally get healed and they'd come clean with, what's going on inside of them. Because everything's an inward battle, everything. And that starts from this duality, every bit of it.
Well,
but it's all within, every bit of it. This whole damn thing is within. And I'll tell you another thing. Everybody thinks that the universe is ancient and that everything is ancient, but actually everything is brand new. We're creating everything every day. It's the thing. And the reality that we bring into this world is the reality that we have. And so as long as they can keep fear, then there's always going to be fear. That's what runs this world.
It's an interesting point. Fear. No, you're not wrong.
No, if everybody just stopped, let's just say everybody stopped thought right now. If they stopped thought, then the world wouldn't exist.
All right, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, just a simple thing. And we are all guilty of it, I'm finding, because this has been heavy in the messages that I don't put on my little stories on Facebook. Like, God, I can't even begin to understand how to explain this one because I'm guilty of it too. Of not fully saying how you feel to somebody, or letting self-doubt, or letting something sabotage you speak from the heart. And we all do it. I don't want to be a bother. Oh, I don't want to. He knows I love that, that part of our friendship. Whatever the case may be, not any of us are having the courage to be vulnerable. I don't care what anybody says. Because I think our realm would operate much differently if we all held a space that was safer for one another to come to one another, whether if it isn't in a strife. It's just not set up that way where, hey, wow, that kind of hurt my feelings. Can you clarify it a little bit so I don't spend the next 4 days using energy that I, kind of need for other things? Can we get to a point where we're just totally transparent about how we feel about one another or don't feel about one another and move past it? Like, it's no big deal. Like, we're really withholders. A lot of us will withhold because, like me, I withhold because I want my goodness reciprocated. And I'll hold back and be like, no, I'm not going to do it because if I don't get it back, I'll spend 2 days having hurt feelings on my insides and then wonder what's wrong with me.
Right.
Even though we could say we don't give a fuck all day long. If my visions are correct, because they're pretty clear lately, a lot of us are really skirting wanting to be vulnerable.
Well, let me say this. I say I don't give a fuck, and I really don't. But at the same time, you're exactly right. We say we don't give a fuck, but we do.
We do.
We do give a fuck.
We do.
But that's like relationship, I have literally said, and I've just like weigh the pros and the cons of it. Do I even want to try to invest in anybody anymore?
Right.
Because all the energy that I put into it, and hell, then you have to turn right around, and it's like you said, if you don't get that energy back, and I'm not breaking out the violin, but in my lifetime, I'm just kind of got expected that I'm not going to get that back because pretty much I've been told that, you're not going to get it back. Mm-hmm. You're not going to give as much, you're not going to give what you get. And I always give 110%, and I do, and so.
I see that even in your friendship, so I get it. Well, even in a friendship, John, today it took everything I had to just out of the blue call you because of my own personal hang-ups of I don't want to be a bother. He's probably really busy. He hasn't felt well. So I'll do this list of things of what, it takes a lot for me. Yeah, and I know that probably people are probably listening to this be like, she's a big mouth, outgoing. No, it really not. It takes a lot for me.
I think we're all like that, though, to a certain extent.
That's what I'm saying. And I think we need to get to a point that to say that, yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
Out of fear of rejection, whatever.
Yeah, well, I've told you that. Hell, I'm constant. If I text you or something, I always make sure that I'm not bothering you or whatever. It's just, that's built into me.
Same. But today I decided I'm going to push through. I'm going to bug that motherfucker and see what he's doing. And you were on the phone. So thanks for calling me back.
That goes with that. I don't know. Like for me, it goes with childhood. deals, childhood trauma, because I was told all the time that I was aggravating, that, that kids, nobody wants to hear.
Yeah, you're seen and heard, or what is it?
They should
be seen and not heard.
And really, I can remember so many times when I would ask or have a question and then be like, you're bothering me. Don't bother me.
No, my personal favorite, the adults are talking. The adults are talking. Scram!
Yeah.
The adults are talking. Scram! Yeah.
And it messes with your inner child or whatever.
You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong.
That's just,
but isn't it weird how it comes up at the age of 50-something? And you can observe it in real time?
Well, yeah, I'm just now getting out of diapers, basically.
Same. I had that one of my podcast guests, that young man from Grand Valley University. He brought up a really good point, and I'm probably wording it wrong. If you're listening, Zach, I'm sorry. But he's in his 20s, and he had said that he is in the baby portion now again of being an adult, where being in your 50s is like being in the teenage version of being in adulthood. And there are so many levels, even in age, that you have to like bust through cultural, certain things. But when he brought that up, he's like, no, I'm the baby of the 20-year-olds. Like, yeah, you got a good point.
Well, I've mentioned to you, and I stand by it too. I don't think a man really knows what a man is until he's 40.
Yeah, you guys are sold a line of shit, but I'm watching some of you motherfuckers on Facebook that just make my insides just go, wow, it's so refreshing, and it is like a turn on that I've never had before, John. Like, to read the words of a masculine male, that get it now in their 50s because they made the mistakes or already went through the relationships, and then humble themselves to say, hey, this is where I could have probably, worked out my mother wound, or I could have worked out, certain things. And it's not just a bunch of women now at the water cooler talking about their wounds in therapy. You know what I mean? Men are actually doing the work, and I find that so very alluring. It's so attractive because I look forward to, God, can you imagine, John, finding a counterpart that you can mesh with, that have learned those same lessons and the same energy that we're afraid to give out, and I'm almost afraid to have that reciprocated back to me because I'm not sure I'll know how to handle it.
Well, okay, that's a perfect example right there. I got to be honest, because that's how you heal. I hate, I don't like the word heal, but that's how you learn. You learn by what you just said, and I'm just honest with myself, and that's the most important thing. If you really can't be honest with yourself, then you ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. You got to be honest with yourself.
Well, imagine all the years.
The same thing about being single.
Yes.
I've been single so long that I don't know, because I just don't put up with shit. And so now if somebody comes along and they start throwing shit, I don't know if I'm going to put up with it because I like my freedom.
Yeah. I do too. It'd be really important to be able to.
Nobody bitches. I got dogs that lay all in the house. Ain't no woman going to put up with that.
Don't put that out in the universe. There is. You just say you haven't met or aligned with her yet. You don't know.
Well, yeah, but I'm just,
But realistically, you're not wrong.
Yeah, well, I'll give you an example. The other night I was wanting a beer, and it's like 1:30, and I'm like, shit, I'm trying to think where something will be open. I went and bought a beer. I went and I bought some beer. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't do that if I was with somebody unless they was really cool. I'd be like, honey, go buy beer. It's just those things. But
no, I know I've been writing an awful lot about it, John. Because
that goes with it. I don't know if I put like the last relationship that I tried. All about it. And I was willing. Because I was conscious, I was aware. And, with my wife, I wasn't really conscious, but I was Christian. So I loved her as Christ loves the church. You know what I mean? I did everything by the scripture. I lived my life by scripture. So that went well. And then, and then after I got out of that, I got, baby mama. Well, that relationship was terrible. But it was just because I made a lot of mistakes, and but I can own those mistakes. I just thought that things was different. I thought all women was kind of the same, and I was wrong, very wrong.
I think men start out that way. I think women do too. That all men are. You guys are all very different, just like we are. Yeah. I know it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to look at myself. I'm getting kind of mad some days when some of these distractions are rolling up at my door, and I feel like I've really worked on myself. I've done the shadow work, I've done the work, and I'm like, why are you still showing up in my sphere? Because the way that I have to imagine myself coexisting with another person, because I've had the independent time and I'm not ever going. I want to submit to a man. I really want to experience the real submissiveness before I leave. I really want to be able to trust a man so fully with everything, no matter what, and we can still allow ourselves, our own personal space time and not have attachments or codependency, abandonment issues, and all the fun things that, a relationship is set to work out for you. But I do imagine coexisting with a male counterpart that I trust him so fully. Like, say he had to travel, or say he had to work his ass up. No matter what it would be, it would never be, what the fuck, why you been gone so long? Or why are you not paying any attention to me? And when you've had experiences, it's, wow, this, he must really be out there. And I'm always one that what really fucks me is I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But I think if you're going to be with a conscious man or woman, vice versa, they have to have their solitude. They have to have their program. There's rituals. You're never going to be happy energetically if you're constantly, gauging energy or weighing energy or, weighing your words, or it does require an energetic serve and volley to be in a romantic relationship, and a platonic friendship, even, for that matter. I would love to be in a relationship where we're friends, but we still fuck. Would be ideal for me, but but I want to. Is that even possible? And I don't even know what that looks like, but I do know I want to be submissive to a man where he values me. I've always been the submissive one, but without respect and value. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay,
I mean, just by what you were saying, just by listening to it, and just by the way my mind works, I got to thinking about that. I mean, and it's just exhausting to start thinking about.
Isn't it?
So while you was telling me those, while I was listening to you, I had to get out of my head and shake that out, because that's just it. Okay, me and you've had this conversation many a times. You're not going to be happy unless you find a conscious man. And see, you've done the shadow work, and until you can meet that counterpart or that lover, or whatever it is that has done the shadow work and knows how to love themselves. And see, that's just the truth of it, is we're not taught how to love ourselves.
No, and you know what the worst part of that is, John? You're taught that it's blasphemy against yourself to in any way.
It is in the Bible. Yes.
Yeah, love yourself. Well, if you grew up in any religious household, that's vanity. That you don't, that self-love. I think there was a big confusion growing up for me personally, anyway, because self-love looked an awful lot like vanity. Like, oh, you're not in any way supposed to think you're cute. You're fat. You ruined your temple.
Exactly. And see, and what happened there is just like with so many of us about the love. Well, you see people on TikTok and you see people on Facebook, And
do you think that's real self-love?
No, it's not. No,
okay.
Fuck no. I can tell when it's self-love. These girls or these women get on there, and they wear down these tight-ass pants that show nothing but their ass and their crack and their damn camel toe and everything, and they're always, having to look in the camera and shit like that. That's vanity. That's not self-love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can tell the difference. And the difference of self-love is whenever, it's just night and day difference. You got to have a balance to it, just like everything else.
So what does self-love on a man look like?
Self-love on a man? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. What does that look like on a man? What does self-love look like on John?
Okay, him taking care of himself.
Mm.
I go and I do what I want when I want without guilt, because I've always felt guilty about doing anything for myself.
I can see that about you.
Tell you, I can go to a movie, and especially when I don't have a story, I treat myself to a big nice ass meal. I don't care if anybody sees me by myself, because I have a great time. I'm usually sitting there eating and I'm listening to a lecture, or I'm listening to some kick-ass music. Whatever I want to do, I'm doing it, and I enjoy the hell out of it. And if somebody can't add to my happiness, I'm okay making happiness for myself.
Mm.
To me,
men really aren't that different. Conscious men from conscious women, because that's kind of what conscious women are doing. We're just kind of out here working our asses off.
Well, I talk to a lot of men, because men don't get that opportunity to have somebody.
No, yeah, and I think you're right about them not allowing it for themselves.
No,
yeah,
men don't. And it's a gay thing, and
yeah. Sure.
But see, I break that down because I don't know. I know how I am.
Do you think it's a feminine thing?
Do what now?
Do you think male self-care is a feminine?
Yeah, it's part of the divine feminine in a man, but a man don't know that. He don't know anything about his divine feminine. If you tell him he's got a divine feminine in him, then he's going to think you're a queer or want to whoop your ass. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
But I break that down because I still maintain my manhood. I can do that, and that's one of my gifts. I'm a dude. I'm just a guy through and through, but I'm conscious.
Yeah, but isn't it the final test of the divine masculine to really identify with their feminine?
Yes.
Yeah.
If more men could do that, then the world would be a better place, because everything is ran by toxic masculinity. Everything. That's why, and I've told you, when men became when women became bitches, men became dogs. That's when everything, that's what was like basically the fall of consciousness.
You mean when we started to play roles, gender roles?
Yeah. Well, look, there's a difference, I think, and if if like there's a couple that does fantasy, they like to do role play in the bedroom. I think it's great. Do whatever.
I meant culturally. I get so like gender roles of the man and the female when
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Oh.
Well,
but I think I would be kind of fun. I guess that song, Pina Colada, whatever that fucked up song is. One day I'm sitting here listening to that song. Do you know what song I'm talking about? Something Pina Colada, and it's about placing an ad. God bless America. Now I got to pull up that song.
No,
please hold. Please hold, because I let this song kind of, and I don't even like this word, but I let this song kind of trigger me. You'll know the song once I play it. So please hold. I'm gonna find it on YouTube.
Okay.
Pina Colada. Pina Colada. Of course, it comes up Pina Colada song. What is the name of it?
Is it that old song like "If You Like Pina Colada"?
Listen. I hate this fucking song. Can you hear it?
Is that it?
Can you hear it?
No, I can't hear it.
Damn it. If you like pina coladas.
Yeah, getting caught
singing
in the rain.
and getting caught in the rain. And he's writing a want ad, and it ends up his wife or girlfriend shows up at the thing for the meeting.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it pissed me off one day. I'm listening to the song and I'm like, is this what I think I'm hearing? Like, that, again, circles all the way back to if we could all talk about our feelings and our vulnerability. Like, look, I don't like the way you suck my dick. Can you do it a little differently? Instead of building resentment of, I think I better meet somebody else that wants to drink pina coladas.
Yeah, I think that's the key to everything. You're exactly right.
Oh, thanks, John.
Well, it's true. It's about conversation and just being honest with your lover, your partner, your friend. But I can honestly tell you,
we're not.
Men don't get that. Men just don't get it. You know what I mean? They don't get that opportunity. But
what do you mean? Explain. They don't get the opportunity. You mean they don't see the segue into like, hey, we can have a deep conversation about this right now because this is happening. Have you ever told a chick that she was doing it wrong?
Men don't get that, and then they don't go to their partners because they're afraid it'll make their partners mad or whatever, if they're bad in bed. And I'm just going to say it, that's the way it was.
It would hurt my feelings. I'm not going to lie.
Did what now?
It would hurt my feelings.
You know me, but for guys, I allow that because, that's what guys talk about anyway. That's what they talk about.
Is it?
And, but we can go there. I'll allow them to just, what I do is I'll open them up and let them talk what they want to talk. Men have so much shit built up inside of them. They don't know how to let it go because we're not taught how to let things go. We're taught to hold in all these emotions. And same way with women. So
I was going to say, women weren't taught either.
Do what?
Women weren't taught either.
No, nobody was. That's part of this trap. They don't want us to learn how to just let go of emotions. Emotions are meant to be felt. You know what I mean? Emotions are meant to be felt and understood, and then you let them go. But what we do is we keep emotions stuck inside of us from childhood.
That's such a good point, John.
We don't know how to get rid of it.
That's a good point.
If you're a Christian, a Christian, they're told that you got to just give it to God. You got to cast all that to God. Well, I got news for you. You are God. So you're not getting rid of anything, and I can prove that by Christians. Christians are some of the most bitterest people because of all the shit they got going on inside of them, and they don't know how to let it go because they're not taught how to let it go except to give it to an external savior outside of themselves. So then they carry that shit for the rest of their life. So that's why a lot of them are on their deathbed and they're scared to death because they got all this shit that's surfacing and they don't know what to do with it.
Damn, that's good, John.
Well, it's true.
That's why I play the sticks. Emotion in motion. You got to put it somewhere. I make things pretty. Yeah, no, I know. I make things pretty. It was so funny. Sonia and I were sitting here doing a podcast episode, and I was just being funny about a pattern of myself that I have noticed recently. Not recently, I've noticed it. It's the first time I verbalized it out loud to my own daughter, and she just acted aghast, like as if we haven't noticed, Mom. But I tend to do things out of spite. I don't know if you noticed that about me, John. I tend to, if somebody tells me no, I'm like, want to bet? So we were talking about how I got a tramp stamp, because a doctor told me, or, I couldn't, or women from his country would be stoned to death if they ever marred their bodies like American women. So I figured, well, I guess you got to look at my ass for a while. We're going to put a tattoo there. And it's the same reason why I got a tattoo on my back. I showed up to Sunday dinner on Father's Day because my dad told me a story about, a religious story, how you weren't supposed to mar your body. And that in the World War II or something, I don't even know, Japan would take prisoners and skin the tattoo off of them and make lampshades out of them.
Yeah.
So it was you were never allowed to get a tattoo. So not only did I bring home a Mexican boyfriend, I came wearing his wife beater with a tattoo.
That's great.
No, I know. I've done some spiteful things. So, including right down to building this beautiful, unique plant boutique out of pain. So, I am a pretty good alchemist. I am a pretty good transmuter of my own pain.
Now you're saying, see, that's the words that I like. Yeah. That's what makes me happy. I truly found my happiness through alchemy.
Yeah.
Alchemy is, and I get emotional talking about it. I mean, it's not a lot that can choke me up, but that right there is what changed my life. Mm-hmm. Alchemy changed my world, and if everybody could grasp alchemy,
mm-hmm. Well, manipulating energy, even as far as whatever you label it, manifestation, whatever it is, and it wasn't until I'll never forget when you introduced me to Neville Goddard. You know, because he explains it so well, and he rides that religious line. So,
he's the master.
Yeah, I mean, he just is so good at riding that line, and he does so well, way before his time. Way before his time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I love to listen to him because because I know your goal is to just simplify it, to be able to discuss it in the terms of energy. Yeah. I think he does such a good job.
He does.
Of being able to explain it in such a simple way of just acting as if, and how just that simple acting as if will shift. I mean, energy has no choice but to shift to your favor, a frequency to what you are trying to manifest or not trying to manifest. You have to realize both ways. Your thoughts are constantly manifesting your reality. And I think if we could just get to a very simple version energetically of explaining that, and along with doing the mother, I think, the next generation might have a chance as far as whatever surviving whatever's next. Well, and who am I? I don't fucking know, because who knows? Maybe AI is good for everybody. I don't fucking know.
Well, that's what I'm gunning for. I mean, that's, it's not me. I mean, no disrespect, but I mean, me and you, they don't care nothing about me and you.
Well, no.
We're old. You know what I mean? They'll chunk us out of the way.
Darling, your neighbor barely gives two fucks about you.
Yeah.
And people that are in your family barely, anybody, I'm saying, for real. These eye-opening moments, like, what do you mean they betrayed me? That has been from the dawn of time.
Yeah.
And what do they call that? Trauma. So what is the trauma? Gateway. Gateway to what?
Well, the people that love you are the ones that's going to hurt you.
Oh, you bet your bottom dollar.
That's just the way that is. And
for sure.
And in defense of the people, and most people, they don't know about self-love. They're not. See, that's what I'm doing with my daughter. I'm teaching her how to love herself, and I'm teaching her how to love herself healthy-wise. You know what I mean? Where she can love herself.
Again, a fine line, because that's everybody's personal definition of what self-love is going to be.
Yes.
And I think it boils down to, I'm going to decide that I'm worthy and that I'm enough in this now moment, no matter what my outside appearance looks like, no matter what my outside success rate is, no matter what any outside anything has to do with it, that I am still going to level up. I'm still going to go through lessons. Like right now I'm going through, because I have my mood swings. Like last night was so heavy for whatever reason. I'll have two great days and it's like, fuck this world. Why is it so heavy? And then you're forced to sit with it. Those are the moments of like pure growth that you're like, oh, I get why you made me sit with that on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And profound loneliness. But then again, when you're in that profound loneliness, can you imagine going through those heavy states and then trying to manage or micromanage an energy of another partner that wasn't conscious and couldn't understand that you needed a fucking moment because of whatever? I don't know how to explain it verbally other than I've got to sit with this for a second and transmute it and stare off into space and not be a useful, productive person in society for a minute. This go mentality. Yes. So this whole balance. So I get why everybody's so leery of, I'm alone and I really want to share some of the good parts of my life with somebody, but I don't want to do the bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the bullshit. And when I'm having a heavy moment, I want to be able to retreat to wherever I need to go without explaining myself. And I think we just feel obligated, especially if you're a giver, and you know you are. I know I am. As a giver, I think we want to provide a space that is, so we over explain or we over, say, I got to have this. Like you just said, in self-love, we don't feel like we deserve that space. So we'll withhold it from ourselves so we can give to another person to make them comfortable. And then resentment builds.
Yes.
And then we retreat back. Vicious cycle.
Yes.
Well, John, you've been amazing. Do you know how long we've been talking on the phone?
No, I don't know, honey. I ain't figuring it.
Well, I feel bad that I kept you for an hour and 31 minutes. We're going to go to an hour and 37 minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Okay, honey.
Because then I'm going to close my store and go do my rebounder. I've been working out.
Well, that's good, honey.
Oh, you're sweet. Well, I got to do something with my time because I'm feeling heavy again. And you know what happens when Jen feels... Well, I don't mean heavy like physically. I mean like, hey, there's a tree down the street. I don't know how much more of this I can take.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, you need to channel that energy somewhere.
I know, and it just isn't doing it for me no more. I need this place to... I really need it to sell.
Well, and I know what you deal with when you leave there, and that's... Look, I'm gonna just tell you that's the majority of your.
Oh boy, John, thank you for that.
Well, that's just the truth. I know, you're in a cage basically, and you need out of that cage.
Thank you for that. Mama Jen needs a bathtub.
You do.
That
would change your world, Jen.
Oh my God, you know. Well, you know how much it would change my world.
Yes.
I know, but I feel like I'm gonna be rewarded soon. It could happen.
It is going to happen.
It's going to happen. You're right. It is going to happen. It's going to happen for me. It's going to happen for you, too.
And I know it is.
Mm-hmm.
I know it is.
But, man, oh, man, those shifts are like fucking kicking my ass where I'm just not even inspired. It's just hard.
I have discovered from so many people that I talk to, it's not just you, and it's not everybody is feeling that way. You know what I mean? Everybody's just kind of everybody's exhausted spiritually, and they don't really kind of know it.
That's a good point.
This energy has taken a lot. This energy is taking a lot from people, and they don't. People that's not grounded spiritually don't know. They don't know what's going on.
I can't even imagine. I'd be thinking, man.
They're going to the doctor.
That's crazy. Yeah, wanting pills.
That's what I'm saying. They honestly are. They're going to the doctor, trying to figure out why they're tired, why they're exhausted.
They want on Ozempic so they can be skinny tomorrow.
Yep.
I know.
But
it's funny because I can't even imagine pharmacy talk. But yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Well, here. I don't know how it is there, but Ozempic has took over.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, yeah, it's here, too.
It's everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Shit, it was Adderall. Now it's definitely, you better have my Ozempic when I fucking need it.
And that's it. I mean, and that's the truth.
But they have such a weird look about them. Yeah.
It's terrible.
I don't know. Energetically... Because you know how I feel about the pot nowadays, which that's going to be a whole nother show. I don't want to talk about it right now because.
Oh, that's another thing. They're starting to bring in weed, and they're starting to package it different, and you can buy it in the store.
They're fucking it up. They fucked it up. They fucked it up.
It's crazy.
They fucked it up. Yeah, that's a different topic. I don't want to talk about that today, but because we're on limited time. But yeah, you're definitely right in that Ozempic. And I've thought about this a lot because there was this fanatical diet in the 90s after I had Jake. It was like, I got to get back down, because I was 300 and some pounds. Then I gained 120 pounds. Well, I was 320 pounds. I was 115 when I found out I was pregnant for Jake. Gained 120 while I was pregnant for Jake. And after having him, I just wanted to lose that weight like fast, but I didn't want to really work at it. Even though I was walking. Tom worked third shift, and I was walking around my dining room table 337 times. You know, just like, I'm going to get this weight off. So I decided to go to the local quack where they put me on Fen-Phen. Best drug ever. Like it's like cocaine in a pill. You know, you just want to pick at your skin and not eat. You mean like the Adderall of the 90s, I guess it was. You know, and it was the best shit ever. But wow, did you look like you were dying?
Yeah.
You felt energetically like it was sucking the life, which it truly was, out of you. And I remember picking at my hangnails till they were bloody. And mind you, my ex-husband at the time, and we had a waterbed. This is really dating this memory. That he was at work, and he worked third shift. I had to get up, John, and I put socks on my hands and duct taped them on so I couldn't pick at my fingernails. That's how bad that drug made me. If you don't got something to do on that drug, you're fucked. But Ozempic is just the nauseating, I don't want to eat version of that pill.
Well,
it's not the fun upper part. It's just I'm going to make you sick, and your stomach's going to not want it, and it's going to now going to be a core memory.
Did you know that?
It's snake venom, isn't it?
Well, they say that it is, and then you have, some people say, no, it's not.
No, synthetically.
Well, I will tell you this. It's basically like a synthetic snake venom, and what it does is it stops your stomach. That is not good for you. But if you'll read and find out about what it does, man, it tells you all in the pamphlets,
like with any pill.
Oh, but it can cause pancreatic, cancer.
Mm-hmm.
It says it will definitely do some pancreatic damage. But people don't care. It's all about, hell, I look good,
right. Well, on that note, John, both of us looking good. We're at an hour and 37 minutes. We're going to carry this over on a part 2. I'm not sure what you're doing Thursday, but I would like to revisit this.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to close my plant store and get the F out of here.
Okay.
Sonny will be here on Thursday, but so whatever works in your schedule next, will you text me what works?
I definitely will.
And then I will plan, but text me a time, that way that time I'm going to pick up the phone and we'll pick up where we left off.
Okay.
Whatever, because we don't really have topics. We just go off on a tangent. Mm-hmm. But if there is something that you would like to touch base on, take some notes for yourself, or if there was some things we talked about today that you wanted to revisit, let me know. It might be good for Sonia to hear us revisit some things and include her in our conversation.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, as always, I love you dearly.
I love you, sweetie.
And I'm going to sign off with thank you for being here, everybody, to Route 37 podcast, where we take you on, obviously, a winding road. Thank you for keeping up with John and I's flow. And John, always your pleasure. Thank you for putting up with my directionless, raw live feed.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate
that's
you.
What makes you.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me the space for me to be me. And I look forward to chatting with you next time.
Okay, honey.